Hello, today we will be talking about the last principle of Niyama. It is called Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara means higher consciousness, and Pranidhana means to take refuge in. Now, what does this mean? It means that right now my sense of happiness is based on some external circumstances. For example, I live in Barnaul, I have some friends, I have some acquaintances, I have a job, I have this, that, and the other. I have many external circumstances. And of course, if I was suddenly sent somewhere in America, into an unfamiliar district, I would be very unhappy, as my ordinary everyday life would be broken, and with it the sense of happiness I built on it. This life will no longer be there, and so I will feel miserable. But the principle of Ishvara Pranidhana says that with regular practice, your sense of happiness begins to be based on how harmonious you are, how in tune you are with your own conscience, how much inspiration you draw from the higher consciousness or your own higher self. Within you there is a supreme soul, and when your mind is clear, when it is pure, this is as if the sun on a cloudless day. And as this sun shines upon you, you feel inspired. And from that inspiration, you receive the understanding that the most important thing in life is how much you follow the voice of your conscience. This is the first priority, and from this alone, you can already become anything. You can be a photographer or a programmer, anyone you want. So I can be anyone. I can teach asanas, I can lead marathons, I can be a groundskeeper if I wish. This is secondary. Most important is who you are at the moment when you are performing some action, or where you get inspiration. That is, little by little by little, we feel this flow. So this is not simply some inner voice. So this is a force that, when you do something, it brings you happiness from simply having performed the action. That is, you gain a genuine desire to do this. And there are such situations when the desired and the real do not coincide, and then you act carelessly. As for your thoughts, you are just sitting there in the sixth lesson of the day, but you're just dreaming about how you will go home and watch some cartoons. You are bored because you are neither here nor there. And what is boredom? It is when your mind is torn between what you want and what you have, when wishful thinking and reality are not the same. While being in the flow is to do, as we say, whatever makes you happy, makes you feel emboldened, inspired, and joyful. And in this moment you are not bored, because the action is itself a reward. You do this sincerely, and the results, more often than not, turn out to be positive. Even if some obstacles prevent you from achieving your goal, it still inspires you. This is life in the flow, and this is the principle of Ishvara Pranidhana. When you first set the goals, that is, give them an inner purpose. We often come to yoga, to self-development, when our goals are already set. I want to be the richest. I want a green Porsche. But this goal is not easy to achieve, and you are finding ways to fulfill this goal. You watch different films, visualizations, whatever else. This is not quite in the spirit of Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana is first and foremost about how to divert your attention away from the outside world and truly feel from within, and not under some outside influence, not under some outside suggestion that you need to become a lawyer or a dentist or a musician, as you're told since childhood, while meanwhile you don't really know what you truly want. So what do you really want? Who can you learn this from? The answer is yourself. Therefore, the principle of Ishvara Pranidhana is to first set the goals, to have these goals filled with this spiritual energy. That is, to have them come from the very depth of your heart and your conscience. That is the first stage. And then you need to latch onto this goal and run with it. And then your life will be entirely in the flow. You will be overcoming all these doubts, anxieties, sorrows, worries very quickly. Because you will feel that you already have this happiness. And it is growing and growing and growing. This is the principle of Ishvara Pranidhana, when you take refuge in this inner essence of the self, when you get to know your deeper self.